How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Krogg and Qwerty Show's Under Fire Reviews. We got Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We just did Battlefield 5, and we mentioned this a little bit, so we were like, you know what, why don't we just come right out and just do the review for that? So we can put them side by side. Why not? So we have our four categories as always: gameplay, play value, environment, and originality. So the game today is Call of Duty Modern Warfare. We played it at launch, we played the beta, we played the alpha. Played it all. Alpha was great.
2 months.
Yeah, Alpha was great, and then it released, and you'll see in our review that there's some little letdowns in there. Yeah, there's some little letdowns in there. So, getting right into it here, we're gonna go to gameplay, and all right. So, for me, I really like all the guns. The guns were really good. It's fast and fun gameplay. Took a little bit to get used to, but I think it's really good. Just the one gripe with me was the fact that every gun kind of kills at a similar distance. I mean, it's not completely the same, but I mean, you just got people like it. There was basically no reason to really snipe. There's a few maps where it was good, but yeah, that's just kind of how I felt. So I gave it a 4.5 because I put 0.5 off for that just because I thought that was, you know, that takes away from it. So, what do you got, Krogg?
Yeah, it was very well polished. I mean, they do have a lot of cool skins for the weapons and a lot of attachments and additives, like what you would expect from a Call of Duty game. But my main gripe is the gripe that I've always had with the gameplay of Call of Duty, as it basically rewards the top player too much. Those kill streak rewards are just so ridiculous. Like, anybody who's really good at the game,
right? You might
always up there, always tearing through everybody.
Right, you might go like 10-4 normally, but with those kill streaks, you're going like 20-4. It's like
exactly, and it's just extrapolating. Yeah, it's just too much. It's way too much, especially in a respawn game. Yeah, it's great, it's respawn, but you don't want to be dying every freaking encounter you get into,
right?
Or have to.
All right, what did you rate it?
I rated it a 4 because it's still very polished. It is a Call of Duty, so the gameplay is there, but there are a few things that irritate.
All right, save some of your irritation things for when I'm adding everything up. Don't get all your steam out just yet. Right. I need you to go on a little bit of a rant after.
That was just on kill streak.
Yep. No, I got you. All right, so next is our play value. So I have a little picture there of the achievements. They did really good. They got a lot of achievements. They got a lot of gun unlockables, a lot of different, you know, really hard challenges. Basically, they have like the gold, the Damascus, and like the platinum like skins where you have to get like gold in like every gun, and like there's definitely a lot of stuff. And then they always have their dailies, and they have a lot of that. Plus, I mean, online PvP. I know we played it for the first like 2 months at release, so right there, and we could go back to it, you know, but you know, we're into other things right now. But yeah, so a lot of unlockables, achievements, skins. I gave it a 5. I think in replay value. I think Call of Duty in itself, even any Call of Duty you pick, some people like World at War, it's like timeless. Like, you can always go back to it, or be at a buddy's house, jump on, and just like, you know, if you're good at it, you know, go ham. Yep. All right, what'd you have, Krogg?
Also, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet because you basically hit everything there. Yeah, just a 5. I mean, it's online, it's Call of Duty. They do a lot of things right when it comes to replay.
Right. I think that was the biggest thing that like pissed us off about the game, is they did so much right. The stuff that they did wrong, which we're gonna get into, is just like, why? Like, just fix that one little thing, you know? I didn't understand. Everything else was so good. Yeah. So that brings me to our next category here, which is environment. So this definitely lost some points for me. I mean, graphics are great. They have like floating debris, like bags, and you know, birds. They have like a ton of stuff going on. So like that was like solid. Like, it looks really good. I thought the alpha looked better, but I don't know. When they made the other maps, it kind of felt like empty. Like, it didn't feel like there was as much stuff.
It doesn't feel alive.
Some maps they seem like they did more on. They did like there was more stuff going on in them. And then other maps, it literally felt like I was playing like a server on Counter-Strike Source or something. Like, just
just
blocky, that's just what this wall's here, you know, that's the corner, and like all sharp edges.
Yeah, we're quite small. I was hoping for a couple bigger maps.
Right.
I mean, I understand it is a Call of Duty game. You do have to have that close combat. That's fine.
Right. But that's what I had in here too.
Not big.
Was the wrong map sizes is basically what I broke it down to. That's how it hit me. Is like they'll have like 10v10 on a map that should be like a 4v4 or something. You know, it shouldn't be, or it should be like pistols only, or like gun game or something like that. But like I said, like there's not very many maps where it's fine to have those small maps. They're fun, like Shipment and UB and stuff like that. But then you got to have equal amount of like huge maps. Like if you're doing like 10 on 10 or 16 on 16, whatever, you need a big map, something that you can like utilize with all the people. I mean, they did have that one mode where there were really big maps.
One game mode, with big map, and that goes into play value. Is they had like so many.
Yeah, they did have a lot of game modes.
But Battlefield just does that game mode much better.
Right.
It's like every time I played it, I'm like, I'm playing Battlefield.
Well, it goes back to the ambiance again. Like a tank drives by me, and it's like going up over, like it looks like it's not going through on the ground. It's just like going, like the hard edges. You could see it going. I don't know. There's no dust.
Yeah.
It's not like tearing into the ground. There's no tracks on the ground. There's nothing like that. Where it's like, you know, in Battlefields, we were saying, like, you know, even a plane flies by and like some debris like whooshes past you, or like, you know, whatever. There's explosions, and then you run through a plume of like dirt, and you can hear all the little bits hitting the ground and stuff. Like,
exactly.
Like that was just it. Like it's just dull explosions in Call of Duty. Like something would explode, or even like they had like the like carpet bombs or whatever they want to call them from the plane, and you would almost never see it. Like you would hear it, but I would you wouldn't see like plumes of smoke coming up afterwards when it would blow up. It wasn't like a fireball, like an actual explosion. It was just like sparks, kind of. It's just, I don't know. I really thought they could have done a lot more to up the environment in this game. I just think they dropped the ball on it.
Destructive would have been nice. If you're gonna have small maps, why not have destructive environment? I mean,
right, that too. Like it's just simple. It's not next gen. It's not you know, it's not the heck was I gonna say? It's just not new. It's not pushing the boundaries like Battlefield was.
It feels like Call of Duty.
Yeah, it feels just like every other Call of Duty, with just like a new coat of paint on it, pretty much.
Which is not what was promised.
No, not at all. We thought it was gonna, because we were saying like, oh, well, they got Battlefield 5, they have to be looking at that. And then like we played the alpha, and it was just 2v2, and it seemed really like involved because it was only 2 people, it was 2 on 2. And we're like, man, I can't wait to see how this extrapolates into huger maps. But then even some of those alpha maps were still used. Like, I don't know. Yeah, it's just weird. But all right, so I gave it a 3.5 for environment, just because I would have probably went lower because there's a lot of stuff that annoys me. But in the sense, it is, you know, a beautiful game. It looks really good, sounds are good, and stuff like that. So I got a 3.5. What did you get, Krogg?
They just didn't put enough into it.
They could have put a little more.
Was good, obviously.
Right. What they did right was awesome. What they did bad was just like what or why, pretty much. All right. What'd you give it? Environment.
I also gave it a 3.5.
All right.
Because again, like it's going to beat out other games.
Mm-hmm.
Hands down, just because.
Alrighty, here we go. Our last category here, originality. So I'm gonna start with the good. So they do have like a pretty good, you know, gun system. The achievements, I like that. Their night mode, I mean, it's not necessarily hasn't been done, but not really on an online scale where you can play. And they did the night mode very well. It's very fun and rewarding. And it's like really hard to see people. It makes the maps feel totally different. So I thought they did that really well. Like the attachments for the guns, I thought all that stuff was pretty good. And like, not necessarily original, but kind of like their own take on even their own stuff. But then my main gripe is same old Call of Duty. Like, it feels just like, I mean, I'm sure if I played the original Modern Warfare, like on an older system, yeah, it might seem a little clunkier because it's like an older game, but pretty much it's gonna feel exactly the same when I'm playing it. Like yeah, it's just better graphics. So for me, that was a huge point for me where I was just like looking for that next thing that, like, you know, Battlefield did. Didn't really have it, so I gave it a 2 for originality. If they didn't have the night mode, I probably would have given it a 1 or a 0, because I would have just been like, it's the same game. Guys, it's the same game. Like, come on.
Game. They did try.
They tried.
For my piece, they did add that bigger game mode with bigger maps. Not too many of those maps, though. There's only a couple, which is kind of depressing.
Right, and I didn't like those maps at all.
Yeah, the realism mode was kind of interesting. It does add a little bit more gameplay, but yeah, I think it's lackluster at best. So I had to go with 3 because they tried. Yeah.
Well, for me too, I'm looking at stuff like you said, like, yeah, they have that bigger game mode, but that's just copying Battlefield 5, and Battlefield 5 did it so much better. Like, you go in the Call of Duty one, and you be sitting there trying to capture the points, and someone's up on a freaking building, you can't even see him sniping you, and then like you see like the whole game, he's just up there, not doing anything. Like, it's not, it doesn't feel like you're an army, like storming a city or something like that. Like you feel in Battlefield.
I've seen a billion clips of somebody parachuting down on top of a roof and like stabbing 20 snipers in the back. Right. It's like 20 snipers. That's like the whole other team just sitting on this roof.
Right.
And there's tons of clips of it, just tons of them. And it's like, wow, that's awful gameplay. It's like the same thing. People do the same shit every time. In the map, it's taking a huge map and it's just down to tiny areas where the gunfights take place.
Yes.
They did not do that well compared to Battlefield 5. If you're looking for a new shooter, even though Battlefield 5 came out a year earlier, I would still go with Battlefield 5. I think their finished product, especially today, is just far better, far superior.
It definitely is. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if I was going to go back to a shooter, I'd be going back to Battlefield for sure. That would be the game that I would go back to. So Call of Duty for me, until they come out with their next one, I may or may not get it. I didn't get the Call of Duties for a little bit there for a few years after, like, they had, like, we were running on walls and shit. I'm like, what is this? This is not Call of Duty to me. I didn't get it. It didn't make sense to me. I didn't like it. I mean, even this one,
well, for originality, those would have scored pretty
right,
well.
They would have scored a little better, but yeah, I don't think their overall value would have been better. But all right, so here we go. We got our score here, and the final verdict is 3.81 stars.
3.81.
So
it's
go.
Just in the
it's, pretty much on the low end. So that's
kind of playable.
Unless you're a fanboy of Call of Duty, it's right on the border of not, you know, yay or nay, pretty much. Did you get it? Not get it? Hopefully that helps you. If you're like, well, I'm not spending $60 on a 3.8 out of 5 game. Exactly. You know what I mean? You know, and then you heard all what we said about it. So
yeah, basically, if you're not.
But that's about it for this. Please leave any comments down below if there's any games or anything you want us to do in the future. And yeah, let us know what you think of this video, if we were being fair, if you think it should have scored higher, should have scored lower, whatever you think. But I'm here with Krogg, and I'm Qwerty. We're signing out. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.